Viva FM, the number one choice in Leeds.
Okay, so welcome, David. Mental health has been a talking point for a few years now, and I suppose the natural progression is to now identify how it is represented, if at all, on screen, which is where the BBFC comes in perfectly, as it sort of acts as a buffer between the medium and the audience. Can you tell us about the report and why the BBFC conducted it?
Yeah, so we conducted this research for two reasons, really. First of all, because we are launching a schools resource for 14 to 16-year-olds that focuses on mental health and choosing content well. And we wanted to have a bit of a launch of this resource, which I'm told, although it's only been available for download for 24 hours, there's already 250 teachers have already downloaded it for their lessons, so that's
Brilliant.
really great. So that's the first thing. And the second reason is we've just come off the back, all of us, of a horrible 18 months, and I think teens have probably had it at least as hard as anyone, if not harder than most of us. And we wanted to sort of see what their concerns around mental health were coming off the back of, COVID and lockdown and, challenges with education and all this kind of thing. So we asked teenagers what their biggest mental health concerns were, not what they, if they personally suffered from mental health issues, but what they thought teens' main mental health concerns were. And not surprisingly, given the 18 months we've all had, anxiety was top, with 50% of teens saying they thought it was the most serious mental health challenge facing them. But in addition to sort of getting a sort of state of mental health among teens, we wanted to talk about film and depictions of mental health on film and signposts that it's really helpful for teens to have in terms of choosing what to watch and what to avoid. So we covered all those issues, and teens told us that positive portrayals of mental health conditions on screen can really help them understand mental health issues. So half of teens said that positive depictions of mental health were really helpful in that respect in terms of understanding. And also teens told us that that kind of depiction encouraged them to talk to their brothers and sisters, to their friends, to their parents. And part of the reason for this free resource that we're providing for schools is to facilitate a conversation in the classroom between teachers and students, and that conversation can then go back to the home, and just to encourage a more open dialogue about mental health and depictions on screen. So that was the second part, just getting there. What's the state of the nation in terms of mental health? What impact can film have? Depiction of mental health conditions on screen. And the third thing that we talked about was content warnings, and young people told us that content warnings were very important to them to help them choose what they wanted to watch and avoid what they didn't want to watch, and to help protect younger siblings, to help protect friends and their own mental health. So teens told us ultimately, we want to make properly informed decisions about what films we watch. And as the BBFC, our job is to help them. We want everyone. I mean, our job at the BBFC is to help families, anyone, have a great viewing experience that works for them, and to protect children. So teens said, please give us information about what's in a film around mental health, and that's what we're doing.
Excellent. So you set up the BBFC have set up the youth panel work, and so what depictions would they like to see represented in film and TV to do with mental health?
But one of the things that is on this resource that's going to be used in schools is a video of members of the youth panel talking about the portrayal of mental health in film and media and what it means to them. And they do talk about a number of films. I mean, one of them, for example, is a film called Words on Bathroom Walls, which is an American drama that we rated 12A for its theme of mental illness. And in this film, a teen boy has schizophrenia, and this is represented on screen. So he's diagnosed with this mental illness, he has schizophrenia, and it's about how he copes with his condition and how his schoolmates and others support him in dealing with this mental illness and having a fulfilling life. I mean, I don't want to give any plot spoilers away. It's a really good film, by the way. But he falls in love with the female classmate, and it's a really positive depiction of how teens can deal with mental health. I mean, there are other really good films as well dealing with mental health issues at all the categories. I mean, a really good one that I'd recommend to anyone really is a film called My Life as a Courgette, which we rated PG in part because of references to traumatic childhood experiences. And this is an animated film in which a boy called Courgette moves to a care home after losing his mother. And in this care home, there are a number of children with whom he makes friends, and they all have different reasons for being in the home, and they include mental health reasons, either affecting them or affecting members of their family. And it's a really good exploration, suitable for 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, about mental health and children coming to terms with mental health issues. So these films, I would say, probably 20, 30 years ago weren't made, but now there's a whole range of really good films dealing with mental health issues that are suitable for different age groups, which is a really positive thing. And as teenagers tell us, these kind of films help them have what may be quite challenging conversations with friends and family and teachers.
Perfect. Yeah, and I think it's obviously very black and white to you about the content warnings, but can you elaborate on that and how they will take effect?
So when we classify a film, we don't just give it an age rating, we give it ratings information, and that is sets out what's in the film and why it got the particular rating it did. So you'll have seen them on film posters, for example, or on DVD packaging, or on Netflix, the VOD platforms that use our rating. So it might say, strong sex, violence, bad language, something like that, or mental health issues, mental health theme, which is a sort of very broad brush introduction to what are the issues in the film that have led to a particular classification. But on top of that, we have on our free app and our website more detailed information, going into a little bit more detail as to how issues are depicted on screen. So if it was if we'd said in the short ratings information that you'll see on the film poster, something like mental illness theme, when you go onto our app or our website, you can see more detail about what were the particular aspects of the treatment of mental health issues in this particular film that led to the classification. So our job is to give people as much information as they could possibly want or need to help them decide whether this film is right for them or whether they should go and see something else instead.
Excellent. You've mentioned some films already, so you've recommended some to do with mental health, but as this is a South Asian based radio station, have you got any South Asian recommendations for bonus points?
Well, I to be honest, I can't recall any South Asian film recently that deals with mental health, but I have to say that one of my favorite films of all time, and this is going back a few years, is 3KG, or Kabhi Khushi Kabhie Gham, which I think is one of the most beautiful, moving films that I've seen. All about, I mean, I don't know if you've seen the film, all about that family and families, arguments, and then reconciliation. Again, I don't want to give away too many plot spoilers. It has a fantastic soundtrack as well, which I have on CD.
Oh, that would be good.
It's in the car. But Kabhi Khushi Kabhie Gham is I say not just my favorite South Asian films, but in my top 10 films of all time. I mean, it's not the greatest work of art, but in terms of a really heartwarming experience that it's a film that my entire family, me and my wife and my two kids have watched many times and listened to the soundtrack many times. So I can't rate it highly enough.
Oh, wonderful.
And it has the marvelous Shah Rukh Khan in it as well, which is always a bonus.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's great for our listeners. I can gather some songs from that soundtrack and
excellent. Please
get that played.
There's some really good songs on it.
Excellent. Yeah. So lastly, for our listeners, what should parents or carers do if they are concerned with the content a young person is viewing?
Well, I mean, the first thing to do is it depends where they're viewing the content, and we provide ratings information as well as age ratings on a whole range of content. So if it's content that has a BBFC age rating, you can check and see why it's got that age rating, and then that will help you decide whether it's suitable for your child or not. We provide that information. Obviously, we're not everywhere. We're not on YouTube or places like this. So we do provide resources for parents. We have a children's website. And one of the things you can do with that is it's suitable for parents and children 12 and under. So you can go on that website, and there are resources there to help you understand content better and in terms of age appropriateness. Also some games you can play. It's really good interactive stuff. One of the things that we have on our children's website is something called Rate a Trailer, where we show a trailer that we've classified, although we don't put the rating, and then we ask, you can go on it and rate it yourself and give reasons for why you think it got a particular rating, which is a good fun activity. We also created in lockdown, and these are still available, packs for activities for family viewing night. If you want to sit together as a family and watch something, we provide, and we've done it for some of the Star Wars films and for the really popular films, we provide games and fun activities for the family to do together. So check out this content. So our children's website is cbbfc.co.uk, and our main website is bbfc.co.uk. But if you've got children under the age of 12, please do have a look at our children's website. There's all sorts of information there that's fun to play and will help you have a happy and safe viewing experience.
Excellent. Thank you. I'll send a link to those as well. And the document that you mentioned earlier is downloadable as well. So
it is, yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you so much for your time.